And I got a break because I had it at 3.5, and he scored the touchdown at the
Right.
end. Thank God for that.
Here he goes.
Always comes down to that.
It always comes down to that. You're
But the
you're
bottom
a
line is-
degenerate.
the
You're a
bottom line is-
degenerate.
Okay, so you said you have you got something with the Giants. How do you feel about the Giants off-season move so far? Is that where we're going?
I mean, so far, yeah. Let's go free agency. I would like to talk. I like to take. I would like to get some Jets takes too. But as far as the Giants, yeah, man, it's still. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm just in the twilight zone with this whole shit, man. Because obviously, you know, this guy Joe Shane gets a fucking safety after letting go Xavier McKinney, but I mean. It's so far so good, but we still got the same issues. Where's our quarterback? What are we gonna do with the quarterback? We're playing the Aaron Rodgers waiting game. Like that sounds crazy to me. I hear Russell Wilson's coming for interview again. He came last year, so it's like I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they did some moves on the D line. I like. You know what I mean, they got the safety from Miami. Uh, so I mean, we'll see, but. So a lot of gaps in that team, man. I don't expect us to to be a winning team anytime soon. So it's like whatever.
What's
But
crazy to me is that you guys signed a safety for top of the market safety when you had
right,
a safety last year that was a leader and better, right? And you signed Javon Holland
right,
off like he's been a good safety, but last year was not his
right.
last year was like his worst year, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
Weakest.
you know
Right,
what I'm saying? So
right.
it's just
And he gets injured. McKinney never got
yeah.
injured.
So on top of that, like now you would have already been 1 year into you would have been 1 year into his contract. And it would have
Right,
been a valuable year already because obviously you saw the year that he had in Green Bay.
right,
Um,
right.
you're you're dancing around with Russell Wilson again. So it's like what
Again,
are you just like are you just trying to do what you did last year but do the reverse? Like you're in the same like last year you didn't sign Russell Wilson. So you're gonna do the same thing again and sign him this year. Last year you didn't sign your own safety. This year you're gonna pay like top I don't know what I'm not sure what the numbers that came in, but he's definitely in the top three safety contract for an injured player that's not yours and also is coming off his worst
right.
year. So it's just I don't understand what's going on. Like I do because they're just obviously they're desperate now. So now it's like okay, we got to
Right,
cover up what we did wrong, and it's like okay, it's like you're Joe Shane and Brian Dable are holding hands like off the like you know what now like Bonnie and Clyde when they're driving off they're gonna drive off the cliff and they're like together, like, all right, we in this together, right?
right,
So let's just go. You know what I'm saying? It just
right.
feels like, okay, now finally
Right,
they're on the same page because they both feel the pressure is like, yo, dog, no, last year you did the thing where I needed a player and
right,
and you wasn't looking out and and now this
right,
year, okay, like now we're in this, like we're both gone. It's not like me, it's not me, it's not you.
right,
We're both gone if this doesn't work. So it's like now, okay, what do you need? What do you need? You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like it just feels ass backwards.
It is ass backwards, and it's like everything that went wrong last year, like that blew up in their face as far as like not addressing situations. they're addressing them, but like kind of like you said, the McKinney thing. And I don't want to dwell on the McKinney thing because it's so it's like it's so obvious that was such a stupid move, and now he's like going back and I don't even know what he's doing, but like getting the cornerback, have actually getting a cornerback this year, and not just saying, "Oh no, we got guys and fly and pushing." Is like, but you're not getting top guys anyway, though. You're not getting like a top corner. Like you're still banking, no pun, on Banks. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like he's your guy. Yeah, it is, and that's the thing too. It's like I feel like it's a lot of like he didn't want the guys from Gettleman era. You know what I mean? Like it feels like he let McKinney go, he let Saquon go, and it's like he wants to put his own guys. Look, I got Tracy. Yeah, but Tracy's a regular Joe. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm gonna get Holland. That's my acquisition. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, man. It's just so ass backwards, bro. And it's like a Twilight Zone, man. It's like the Twilight Zone. I can't call it, but I did like the Chauncey pickup. Um, Golston, I like that pickup. I remember playing against them and watching the Cowboys a few times and being like, this kid got a little motor to him and shit. So I thought that was a nice little move. Um, but I don't know, man. This team has so many holes, man. But it feels like right now it looks like we're gonna address the defense. We're trying to make the defense better, and then probably do a lot of offense stuff during the draft. That's what it feels like to me. You know what I mean?
I mean,
But
if that's the tactic that they're going, I don't necessarily disagree with it. Like, kind of
nah,
focus on one side of the ball. But the thing I'll say about that is, it's like then you're going into the draft where it's like, like one eye, like one side, one eye closed, because like that's the defensive side. You know
right,
what I'm saying? So like even if there's a better player, it's like, oh, okay, but yeah, we don't need that. We're doing offense, so it's like it's to your own detriment. But
right,
they
right,
put themselves
right.
in that they put themselves in that spot the way they that the way that they conducted themselves last year. So it's like
Exactly.
it's like, think about it this way. Like I mentioned it to my brother. It's like, because he's still on the, oh yeah, it was the right move. But like, think about it now, right?
What was the right move?
Say you had,
Saquon?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But think about it now. You guys drafted Malik Neighbors, right?
Hmm.
Let's say I'll say you would be in a way better position to draft Cam Ward and also put him in the best position to play like a rookie quarterback, just in general. Because if you're talking about, you got Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs in football, and you
Right,
have Malik Neighbors, one of the best young receivers in the game. Now you have
right,
two, like now you're triplet status. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And now
right,
you don't have to worry about what you pay to trade up to go for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? It's just
right,
like they it could have been so much further along, even if it was a bad season last year. Because it's like, oh, what would Saquon get us? One more win? No, but if your plan was getting a quarterback or making it intriguing for a quarterback to come play for you, then
right,
Tyrone Tracy and Malik Neighbors is not the same as, oh yo, we got
right.
Malik Neighbors, we
Saquon.
got Tyrone, we got Malik Neighbors, we got Saquon Barkley, and we got
Right.
we got other stuff. So it's like they outsmarted themselves trying to like pretend like they're doing it the smart way when they could have been ahead of the curve this year already and wouldn't have had to do those reactionary signings.
Right. Right. No, yeah, definitely. But I mean, I disagree though. I mean, I was kind of like whatever with the Saquon shit because it's out of my control. But like yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, man, like we would have been better off with Saquon, man. And again, obviously, the main thing is the Eagles probably wouldn't have won a chip. You know what I'm saying? So that's even it's like a double, like
Yeah,
a double. I don't
double
know what you
blammy.
want, right, to the face. But but I don't know, man. It's like without. It's like I don't know, man. It's like I've been said. It just feels like it was a perfect time to restart. And the fact that we didn't got us in a big jam. in a worse situation. You know what I mean? And then obviously winning that game against Indianapolis, and now talking about going to get the first round pick when it was right there for us is like, I don't know, man. This shit is a disaster. The Giants organization is a disaster, bro. Straight up and down. Like that shit is a joke. And I don't know, man. We should have restarted, bro. We should have got rid of Shane. We should have got rid of Dable, and we should be starting, get with with the first overall pick, getting our quarterback this year, and building from the bottom up. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It is what it is. But how we feeling about on the other side of town? How we feeling with the moves over there?
But before we go to the Jets,
Uh,
Yeah.
we're not gonna move from the Giants to the Jets without Mr. Rodgers himself giving his thoughts on Rodgers potentially being the quarterback of the Giants. We're not doing that. So
yeah, because
So-
because he had a lot to
I'm
say when it
listening
was
to
a
you throw out
hypothetical.
all these other. I'm listening to you throw out all these smoke bombs, all this smoke and mirrors. Let's hear it.
When it was a
I don't want-
hypothetical, it was
I don't
way
want
better,
him.
right?
I don't want him.
Exactly,
I don't
right?
want him. I don't want him.
Uh,
He ain't gonna.
It's
Look,
real now.
he ain't gonna do good with us.
Why
We
not?
don't have because
You've been telling me that he was looking good. Is you didn't get to see it? You about to see it you about to see it
Hey.
up close?
right. Hey, I'm gonna be cheering if he comes. If he comes,
You're
I'm
gonna be cheering
hard.
if he's playing in the UFL. You're gonna be cheering next year.
right. No, but I just want him to go somewhere where he can excel. Though I don't want him to go somewhere where he's. I don't want him to come to us and suck.
So
Like,
you
we're gonna
don't. So you're
suck.
not. So you're not in favor of this move.
I mean, if you're telling me he has opportunity to go play with the Steelers or Vikings, I'd rather him do that. But if they don't want him, and it's between him and Russell, I'll take Rodgers. I take Rodgers over Russell.
So you're excited about it. Or
Not
no?
necessarily because I don't think he's gonna do good with us. Our O line's trash. We have no running game. We have one fucking offensive weapon. Like I want to see him over there with the Vikings where he got protection and he got a fucking two wide receivers and a fucking amazing tight end. Like go over there.
Sounds like you just want to see him somewhere else.
Yeah, I want him to. Yeah, and not and only those two teams. Like,
I want the best for him.
I want the best for him. Exactly. That's all I want. We're not gonna be good. What I want him here is just to. It's gonna make me feel wrong. I mean, make me feel like.
Truthfully, I feel like the fact that. Truthfully, I feel like it's better for him to be with the Giants than with the Steelers or the Vikings. Not because the Giants are better, but just because I don't think he needs another hit to another failure of a hit to the resume. And I just feel like if he goes to the Vikings and the Steelers and flames out there, a double flame out back to back, experiences.
Yeah.
Those two teams are playoff teams. I feel like if he has the same year he had last year with the Jets, it's just gonna be repeat, and it's not gonna move either way. It's not gonna move the way that people look at him. It's not gonna move, what he is or whatever. Because I don't think people are gonna go into next season expecting a lot from the Giants. It'll just be, whatever. If he wins 5 games next year like he did last year, it'll just be okay, whatever. If he wins 6 games, 7 games, it'll be an upgrade. But I feel like if he goes to the Steelers and wins 5 games, or if he goes to the Vikings and they win 5 games, then you got trouble. You got problems.
Right.
I mean, I see your side of it that you think that you want to see him have a chance to do well and have a chance to win. But I just feel like the higher the expectation, the longer that fall is going to be if he don't get it done.
Right. But I like Minnesota because they got a good O-line and they actually just got better. So I would like to see him there. Where
See, that's the thing. I don't know if that's Aaron Rodgers' forte because
and you just want to see him complete the Brett Favre. the Brett Favre trifecta right there. The triangle, the Bermuda Favre triangle, and he could finish the deal.
Right. Right. That's
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, I don't know when you have you're going into a team that has a already had a 14 win like they won 14 games, right? The Vikings.
Was it 14 or more? Yeah,
It was either
around there.
13 or 14.
Okay, so you have a high bar. So, I don't know if he necessarily wants to go to a team where like, oh, you'd have to win 15 games to in theory be better. Or,
Right.
granted if they make it into the playoffs, but that's a long way off. I'm talking about more of a quicker result where if the Vikings start off, granted, and they have gotten better, in my opinion, like with the moves that they've made. So
Oh,
you're going
line
to be getting
definitely.
a team, yeah. Like so, you're going to be getting a team, right? Let's say you go in and going into week 7, they're 3-3 or 2-4. It's like, oh, we already lost more games than we did last year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
then he starts getting chippy about it, and then he tries to
No,
prove
that's when
something.
the
Then
RELAX relax comes out. When he starts off the
yeah,
season
yeah,
slow
yeah,
like he always does, and
relax.
they have a
Right.
losing record after the first four or 5 weeks, like he has tended to do the last couple of years, it's gonna be everybody slow down, relax.
Right.
And then he is going to smugly refer back to his stats, the last 5 games of this year. It's like I did my best work at the end of the season when it counts the most. I'm
Right.
like, okay, I could already see it now. So I think
When nobody's
there's
playing you.
two variables here. The Giants, he can go to the Giants and actually possibly make. You would assume that the team's record overall would get better. That would look like a win for him. On the other hand, he goes to the Steelers and for some reason misses the playoffs. I think that I
Imagine
I,
he
I
gives
think that
Tomlin his first losing season. Oh my God! Imagine if
yeah,
Tomlin
That'll be
fired.
you know what I'm saying. But
that
see,
would be
but
bad.
also
That would be
that
bad.
but that's the
Oh,
other thing. It's like it's almost like does Pittsburgh, do the fans want it? Because if he doesn't make the playoffs, that means both of them are gone. Like because like a lot of
right.
them are,
Yeah.
the way that they treat Tomlin out there. So I don't know, man. To me, I think that the Giants situation is the best for his ego because I'm pretty like at this point, I think he just wants to make a team better as opposed to potentially taking a team to a worse record than they had previously. So it's a
Yeah.
tricky
I
one.
never looked at it like that. But again, like if it's between him and Russell, I'll take Rodgers, man. I feel like our O line was doing good in the beginning of the year. Once Thomas went down, the shit went to hell. So, um, maybe that O line holds up a little better, and he got some time back there. But you know,
And you
we'll
don't
see,
want to.
man.
You're not interested in any of the rookies.
Yeah, yeah. No, I still want a rookie. I'm still looking at Rodgers and Russell as a
So you
as
want
a
both. You want the veteran and you want them to get one of the rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, I would definitely want that. But I
Got it.
don't think we're gonna get him in the first round because I'm hearing a lot of whispers. But it could be just bullshit. But
What are
you
the
know what I mean?
whispers?
That the quarterback's gonna go 1 and 2. That we're gonna have to move up at least one to get one.
Yeah, but what
So
about Dart?
Well, if
Jackson Dart right there at 3.
right? Nah.
I if
I'd rather
if
get a second
Cleveland,
second.
but if Cleveland signs Russell Wilson, then there's no way they can draft a quarterback.
Right.
Cleveland? Why not?
Yeah, but we see Cleveland
Because
Well,
do
they got
because
things.
Pickett.
And yeah,
because they traded for Pickett and also, obviously Deshaun Watson. Well, that one could be tricky because they could that could just be a situation where it's injured reserve for the whole year.
Well, that's what it's gonna
But
be.
also Russell,
We already know
no,
that.
no,
He's not playing next year.
yeah, but I'm just saying like that's a lot of shit, man. Like think about it. Like if you have Russell
We're
Wilson
talking about
here,
the
you
Browns.
traded for
We are when we talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
Browns, it's a
yeah,
lot of shit. That's what you're talking about.
yeah.
That's why they're
A
the
whole
Browns.
bunch of shit.
I,
Right.
I take it back.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
but
just saying, like,
it wouldn't be asinine. I don't think that's
Well,
crazy.
that's a 9, that's a 10, that's a 11. No, but not because think about it. If you have the Deshaun Watson cloud, you traded for Kenny Pickett for some reason, and you traded away a pick and a better quarterback for Kenny Pickett. Then
Right.
you'd have Russell Wilson
whoa, come
and
on,
a draft
DTR is
pick.
not better. DTR is not better than Kenny Pickett. Stop it.
I mean,
Stop.
I don't know.
Pickett's
You
done
mean
more.
what? DTR is not better than Kenny Pickett. Stop it. You mean
It,
what?
you're no, you're right. But at least the thing that you
No,
can
they're
say
both
about that is the
terrible. But to say
potential.
they traded
Right.
for a
Yeah,
better quarterback, you wildin'.
Nah,
but I'm
Really.
you
saying they
wild. You reach.
traded,
That's a
but
reach.
they also
That
traded
was
a
a reach.
pick. I'm saying
True.
they traded a pick
That's fine, but you cannot
plus
say they
a
Yeah.
traded
quarterback.
away a better quarterback. There's nobody. Dorian Thompson Robinson is nobody's better quarterback.
They let a
Let's
better
face it.
quarterback go. Winston, you could argue Winston was better than both of them. Well, I think Winston is better than
That
both
I
of them.
could
No,
argue. Yeah, I could say that. I hope Winston ends up being the Steelers quarterback. That'd be great. All right, so
that'd be
the
something.
Jets, you got Fields. You excited?
Ooh.
I will
Yeah,
say
you
this.
got the Garrett Wilson Ohio State connection finally.
Yeah, Jeremy Rucker. We got Josh Myers now too.
There's like four of them, right?
OSU.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Trying to
don't
do the
know.
Knicks thing.
Obviously, you can't
Well,
get
the
super
Knicks thing
excited
until
over
they
Justin
fucked it up.
Fields.
Don't even get me started on that. I think everything I said has been proven 100%
Yo,
correct.
every time, yo,
I
I
tried to get
fucking,
you to take a victory lap 3 weeks
I,
ago,
ec-
and we
I
never got
echo
there.
I echo H's shit to my Knicks fans all the time. Like, yo, my man told me Bridges wasn't it. My man told y'all niggas Bridges wasn't it.
I mean,
Even though
today's a bad day
he
to
had a
do
good
it
game.
since he had that
Yeah.
shot
He had a great game, man.
last night,
And
but
he put up 30. And he put up
No,
30.
and also
against Portland.
he and also you were, you didn't disagree with the trade at the time
For
because you
what
said,
trade?
they had to do it. Well, trading for, because remember we got on and I
Yeah.
thought you were going to kill the trade.
The Bridges
No,
trade?
the Bridges trade. I thought you were going to
Yes,
kill the
but
trade.
I didn't kill
You
the
had your
trade, but
rationale. So.
if you remember, I was very specific. The only reason I was on board with the Bridges trade was because to me the Bridges trade was saying that they're going all in on pairing the Villanova guys, and then you squashed
Right,
that when you traded away Dante for Cat.
right, right.
So to me, that was why the Cat trade was a double negative for me because I
Right.
wasn't in love with Cat to begin with. But then you also, I feel like doing the Cat trade devalued the Bridges trade. You're not getting the best value for Bridges when you're not doing the whole Villanova thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
we
But
we could talk.
you warmed up to Bridges though, because in the beginning it was like we had two discussions before. It was one that going into it that the rumors, and you were like, I don't really like it, and then you warmed up to the Bridges a little bit, but you was still like, you still wasn't like, you was kind of like, nah, that's not. I don't think that's the move. And then the cat shit happened, and then you was
No,
like you
I
really
like I
didn't like
said, I was not in favor of them trading for Bridges at all at the
it. Right,
beginning when
exactly,
everybody was saying
exactly.
it. But then
Hmm.
once they kind of, once we saw what the team looked like with OG and we saw all the Villanova shit was happening, I was like, yo, you know what? Fuck it, lean into it. Like this has
Yeah,
been what you built the team on. This is the foundation. I don't like
yeah,
Bridges as a player. I don't think he's worth what they traded to get him. But if you remember what I said was he's more valuable to the Knicks than he is to anybody else. Like I don't
hmm,
wasn't looking at it as like okay, this player and this is the package, this many picks. It was like as a player standalone, nah, I'm not a Bridges guy. But
right.
what his value was going to be to that team, the way that it was
Because
constructed when they made the deal, I was
right,
like, okay, I'm not going to kill the trade because they're leaning into this and it has been proven to be successful this past season. So fuck
right,
it, go all the way. Let's see what it looks like. But we never got to see what it looks like because they went and got Cat. So,
exactly. Yeah, crazy.
but but yeah, so we could have had two different college reunions in professional
In New York,
sports locker rooms.
right?
Um, I mean, obviously it's still a Villanova reunion over there, but it's not what it was gonna be. But now you said
Right.
They got so who has more? Do they have more Ohio State players on the Jets than
I think
three?
it's 4-4.
I think it's 4, yeah.
How's
Oh,
it
well,
four?
oh, it's
No,
not 4 no more. Yeah, you're right.
It was supposed to be
3.
Because
four.
they had,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I know, but when they had the Ryan
The father.
Giacono or whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't count. I mean,
You don't
Yeah.
if
care.
they still had him, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah, so
You got to be averaging at least. I need at
something.
least 10 minutes a game out of you.
Mm.
You're not getting if you're not
But
giving 10
nah,
minutes, it don't count.
Right.
no, like what I was saying is like I prefer this way better because like this approach, because your brother is one who texted me saying about how, you know, how come they're not signing anybody? This guy's worse than Joe Douglas. I'm like, we
Oh,
don't like this
really?
is yeah. It's like we don't learn. I mean, like, just in general, I'll say we just because I'm a part of it. I'm not gonna differentiate myself. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I'm guilty of certain things myself. But um, we get mad when they don't sign every player that goes somewhere, or, all of this stuff, and then we get mad as well when it turns out to be a bad contract, or the guy isn't as good as he was somewhere else, or we don't get compensatory picks because we signed this guy and this. I'm like, I've joked about how we're the offseason champs over and over again every offseason. That really
Mhm.
hasn't worked out when it comes to the regular season. So you know what? I don't mind taking a different approach. And with like in the example of Justin Fields, we saw it worked out well for a team like the Vikings, right? Taking a flyer on a quarterback that still has potential, has shown little glimpses here or there. But even with Sam Darnold, they won the 14 games. Obviously, they flamed out in the playoffs. But you know what? They're going to get a third round pick next year because the Seahawks gave them the contract that they gave them, and they still got and they still got their first round pick coming back, that who was supposed to be the starter last year. Take
Right.
an approach like that, man. Like all of this stuff, like there's the difference. It's like, how do you feel about going after one of these washed up quarterbacks? Because even like the Giants, right? Even if he has Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, whatever, even if they have a good year, you're just kicking the can down the road. You're
Right.
in the same position next year.
Right.
So I don't mind taking a flyer on a player like Justin Fields, who you're going to hand the team over and see what goes on. It's similar to, in my opinion, it's kind of like the thing where like Julius Randle when he came to the Knicks, where nobody else wanted to come. There wasn't many options for the Knicks. He came out. Everybody thought it was like, oh, they gave this much money to Julius Randle. He was a number 3 overall pick, and you know what? He ended up helping turn around the team. Obviously
Hell
he
yeah. 1000%.
wasn't really there when to bear the fruits of his overall labor, but just get the ball rolling in the right direction, man. Like it's a quarterback that like other players want to play with. If we saw the pictures of Justin Fields in Dubai with like Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and other players. Like it's not the same little guy, like the same old guys. Like if you guys sign Aaron Rodgers, the next move is like, oh, let's see if we can get him. We can get Alan Lazard from the Jets for a seventh or sixth round pick. It's like I don't want that. I think that I'm done with that. I saw how that works. And
Yeah.
I don't know why they're trying to mimic that again. But like with obviously you have to have a little bit of faith in this coaching staff, which, till further notice, I do have. But this gives us a chance to have an offense that looks different than the offenses we've been watching for the last 10 years. Justin Fields could stink on any given Sunday. But any given Sunday, he can rush for 200 yards and throw for 150 and have 4 touchdowns. You know, it,
Right.
the possibility is there. You can go into a game with excitement or trying to see what he could put on a show. With Aaron Rodgers, it's like, oh, if he doesn't win this game, it's a disappointment. Every offensive snap looked the same. It's taking 5 steps back, waiting, looking around, getting sacked, holding the ball on for too long, or looking for Devontae Adams, or eventually getting the ball to Garrett Wilson when there was like nothing else was available, and it's like frustrating. That's like I'm done with a stagnant offense. I don't mind seeing a bad offense if sometimes you give me a little bit of excitement. Like I can't do this thing where like I know what I'm gonna see every game, and it's a matter of on those 3 passes, does Zach Wilson overthrow let's say Garrett Wilson or Alan Lazard? Does he overthrow him, or does he drop the pass, or does he catch it? But usually he didn't catch it, or it was dropped or something like that, or overthrow. So
Yeah.
I don't want the game to be reliant on 3 plays. I like a game, I'd much rather watch an offense that, you know what, if he doesn't get the first down, if it's third and short, maybe he runs for the ball. I know that he's not going to miss our Brees Hall in the flat. There's a chance there he could take it with his legs. Um, I'm just like I don't mind if it's a bad season. I just want to see the defense get off the field every once in a while. If Justin Fields is going to make it easier if they can run the ball a lot better. They're going to make it easier on the defense. I don't have to watch like literally like I felt like the last 3 years or 4 years, I was watching like a Jets game and just watching 48 minutes of Jets defense. That's what it felt like. And it was like a couple
Right.
minutes of Jets offense. And what the offense that I got was terrible anyway. And then they just left all the time on the clock for the other team to run their offense. So it's like I'm going into this optimistic till further notice. The signings that they've made, I'm happy that they're not spending a lot of money everywhere. Cover up a little holes. They do need to, get a defensive lineman, maybe a tight end, so that they could go into the draft flexible, like I was saying before, what the opposite of what the Giants seem to be doing. But just like going in and being able to not know exactly what they have to draft, exactly what they need, being able to be like, yo, okay, we could take a tight end, and then we could go here, we could go here, it's just like for like the draft that when Rodgers came here and they had the 15th pick and they ended up taking Will McDonald. Everybody thought that what they wanted with Broderick Jones, and that's what we were waiting for. This is who they're gonna draft. This is who they're gonna draft, and then obviously they weren't able to draft them. But it's like I don't want predictability in a draft. I want them
Right.
to be able to go anywhere with it because they didn't spend $22 million on $27 million on Milton Williams like the Patriots did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that they're not gonna that they're not gonna draft Mason Graham, number 3 overall, uh, in the draft. You know what I'm saying? So that opens up. Okay, that's another spot that Mason Graham might fall. Maybe we get lucky and he slides a little bit more to us, and that we could cover up that a big need that we need to fill up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
I don't like the tactic of throwing money at every position and hoping it works. It never works. It never works.
Right. No, yeah, definitely gonna be a different team, and you know, what I mean, I kind of feel that way because it's kind of like I'm almost envious of it because that's kind of where I wanted to be. I wanted to be rebuilding and taking a shot with, you know, what I mean, at like a fucking quarterback that is not too much pressure on him. It's just like let him come over here, do what he can, and see what he got, and continue to build up. You know what I mean? Like instead of being like where we're at, where we're just desperate. We're just a desperate Giants team that Joe Shane and Daboll's like, yo, fuck it, let's just bring as much talent in here because we're gonna get fired if we don't win. So let's just shoot for the stars, Let's just keep shooting and something's gotta hit, you know what I mean? So yeah, I like what the
and
Jets are doing, and it's relaxed. There's no expectations. It's just chill. Let's just build everything from the inside out.
and that's how we ended up with, and we're still paying C.J. Mosley, and that's how we ended up with Le'Veon Bell,
Right.
because that second
Le'Veon
year,
Bell. Oof.
go,
Oof.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how
I
you
actually
end
heard
up.
that
That's how
one.
you end up.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah,
Oof.
but I'm saying
That's
that's
a
how you
bad
end
news
up with that
story
type of
right there.
player. Oh yeah, that's a and it makes perfect sense why he was tap dancing all of a sudden, trying to get on the good
Yeah.
side of your, not, I don't even want to say your man's, but the MAGA man's, but
Yeah.
because obviously it always ends up turning out that way. But to my overall point, that's the type of play, like that's the type of signing that desperate teams, desperate general managers, desperate coaches, they end up doing that, so they get a little splash. Oh, we signed this guy. Oh, look, this guy came over. CJ Mosley, they had to pay a crazy amount of money to. We're still paying for that. That was 6 years ago. We're still paying CJ Mosley. So, like,
Now,
that's
how
how
did
that's how
how are
you
the
end up
payments
in
going to
this
work with
situation.
Rodgers?
Well, they're doing a post.
Don't they owe him like 75 mil or something like that?
Yeah, June 1st. I don't think they owe him money. I think they paid him the cash already, but it's the cap hits that they have to endure, the dead money hit. So I think this year it's like 25, and next year might be 30, 39 or something like that. It's ridiculous still, and it just shows you what happens when you're desperate, how you end up in this situation. And mind you, he took a pay cut, and this is still the situation that we're in. So,
Right.
and now it seems like he has a little bit of leverage. And I know that he said like all he wants to do is have an opportunity to play and all that. But when that I'm very curious to see what that contract turns out to be, because it went from, oh, you're not going to have to pay him anything,
Yeah.
he's going to come here, be on his best behavior, he has no leverage, nobody wants him. And now it seems the tables have turned, and it also seems like he's very willing to see how much he can get out of this, because now that he's got two teams that are very desperate, you know what I'm saying? Because now, like the Steelers are desperate because if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Giants, they're shit out of luck. And the
They're gonna
Giants are
look
desperate
bad.
just because of their coach and situation. They know they're gone if they don't pull off a couple wins. And if you don't get Aaron Rodgers, maybe they forces them to trade up to number one for Cam Ward, which is another thing that's going to backfire or can backfire on the team as well. But
Right.
um, he's gonna take advantage of that leverage, and it's not gonna be like, oh, he's gonna take the vet minimum because he wants to play. He's gonna keep his mouth shut because he doesn't. No other team wanted him. Well, all it takes is two teams to want him,
Right.
and it seems like that's the case. And you would think that he would, kind of do this very quickly to kind of get this out of the way, but it's crazy. This just kind of shows you, like, no, he doesn't learn. No, he's not going to change because he's doing exactly the same thing that people accuse him of doing, and he
Right.
says, no, that's not what I do, and then does the same exact thing over again. It's crazy.
Well, you know what is crazy? That I feel like it's crazy to me that, I mean, good for the Steelers that they have this reputation and they have this cachet that they're not being criticized. But what Omar Khan and the Steelers have done in mismanaging the roster is incredible. If you think about the fact that they find themselves now in a desperate quarterback situation when they
Mhm.
had a surplus last year. They had two viable potential starting quarterbacks on the roster, could not decide between the two, vacillated between the two to the point where both of them were offended, and now they're stuck waiting on Rodgers. I mean, think about how much of a fuck up that is. That you find yourself holding the bag, the last team without a fucking quarterback, when you had an entire fucking season last year to evaluate both Justin Fields and Russell Wilson in the building. You decide to stick with Russell Wilson to finish the year and then discard him and don't want him at the end of the year and think you're going to go back to Fields. Fields says, fuck you, I'm going to the Jets. And now you're here begging for Wilson after you shit on him, or you're begging for Rodgers. I mean, the fact that they, with a playoff team, mismanaged the most important position in the sport that badly and no one talks about it is mind-blowing.
Yo, it's
And
crazy.
don't even get me started on the years back, because I mean, I've been talking about this for months about how Mike Tomlin gets all the blame and nobody talks about the terrible roster management that they've done. They have not drafted well. The last 5 years of Steelers roster building has been unlike the previous 25 years. The Steelers used to be the team that drafted receivers, got the best years out of them on rookie contracts, let them go and let another team pay them a shit ton of money for low production. Now they're the opposite. Now they're trading for overhyped receivers because they can't fucking draft properly. They're trading to get players. They had to trade to get DK Metcalf. They had to trade a first-round
and
pick
give him that
to get
contract.
Minka Fitzpatrick because they couldn't fucking figure out how to draft a safety. Since when do the Steelers know how to figure out how to draft a fucking safety? I mean, think about that.
Right.
And no one talks, like, you don't even hear Omar Khan's name. Nobody even knows who he is. And this guy has completely destroyed what the Steelers have been and have built over the last 25 years, just in 5 short years with the way that he's managed this roster. And right now is the perfect example of how shitty it is. The fact that they find themselves the lone team without a quarterback and in an impossible division with a team that has been getting to the playoffs and a coach that has proven he can take a team to the playoffs, and they cannot get him a quarterback. Had 2 quarterbacks in the building and now have none and are waiting on Rodgers, who's fucking on the beach with a fucking blanket. I mean, the way that the Steelers have fucked up and nobody talks about it is, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, good for them that they have that reputation and that cachet, that they just get the benefit of the doubt. But holy shit, they have completely fucked up. The fact that the Steelers find themselves like that with no quarterback in this type of situation, completely having fucked up the relationships there, making deals. I mean, trading for DK Metcalf, they didn't have to give up a ton, but like you said, they have to pay him, and that's the complete opposite of what they used to do. It was draft Antonio Brown and move on from him before everything hits the fan. It was draft Juju Smith-Schuster, get the best out of him, and then send him on his way. It was draft Emmanuel Sanders and let the fucking the Broncos pay him a shit ton of money. It was draft Mike Williams and let the Dolphins pay him a shit ton of money. Like, they did that shit for years. Martavius Bryant, who ended up fucking in the that was one. I thought that was what I just said, Mike Wallace.
Oh, you said Wallace? Oh, my fault.
But like, that was what they did, and now they're the complete opposite. And it's just crazy to me that they are at the center of this whole fucking quarterback shuffle with no fucking plan, and no one says anything about it. It's all about, what are the, what's going to happen with the Giants and Rodgers. And I hear all these people talking about, oh, well, Rodgers makes sense for the Steelers. Whether he makes sense or doesn't make sense for the Steelers this is a proof positive that the Steelers had no fucking plan. And they had no fucking plan, having had 2 viable starters in the building last season. Had him in the building all year and completely dropped the fucking ball every which way. It's crazy.